welcome to Sunfire Designs. Today I'm going to be showing you a technique that I've been working on to make flower coasters that's a little bit different from the typical bloom. I've already mixed up my resin. I mixed it up and let it warm up to 32 degrees, and then I divided it into a couple different sections. One is just clear resin, and I just put it in this small container so it's easier for me to pour. The second one is this really pretty turquoise color. It's iridescent. It is turquoise from Recollections pigment powder, and I got that at Michael's. And you can see that's really pretty. It's kind of like a blue-green shimmery. And then I mixed up some white. I used Cast and Craft, and I went a little darker than I normally do. I usually do 1 drop for every 10 mils. And I mixed up 40 mils because I'm going to be doing another project. And I put 6 drops in. So basically 1.5, times the normal, what I normally do. And you can see it's still kind of transparent. I just needed it a little darker than what I had last time. It didn't work so well. All right, so what I'm going to start off with is I'm going to start off with the clear. And I am going to go ahead and go around. I'm going to mist it with alcohol first, just because bubbles can gather in the edges of the flower. So I'm just going to do a little mist really fast. And I'm going to start off with the clear, and I'm just going to go around the edge. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't matter really how much you've got. This is to keep the main color from sticking to the edges and then just making a really solid line around the edge. If you don't put down the clear, then it makes like a solid line. So it looks, to me, I think it looks a lot better with the clear. Now, when I've been doing these, I have discovered that I really like the wrong, quote unquote, side of the coasters a lot better. So that would be this top side. But, we can see how it goes and decide what we want to do. So now I'm going to take the color, the blue, and I'm going to go around and I'm going to go right over that. And I'm going to do it, generously. I'm not going to do a super fine line, but I'm going to give a generous amount so that it's kind of thick. And I'll do that for both coasters. I just love this color. It's so beautiful. Turquoise and blue are my favorite colors, so I see this and I just have hearts coming out of my eyes. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the white and I'm going to go over the blue with the white. And I'm going to do the same. I'm going to do a pretty generous line there. And it's okay if it's a lot, if it seems like it's a lot, because you're going to go back over it with more blue. All right, so I'm going to do the blue again. And this one maybe not quite as thick. And I'm going to go right on top of the white. Just like that. That one a little bit thicker. You want to have a little bit more of the blue than the white. And then I'm going to go over one last time with the white, but this one's going to be just a super thin layer. So not super thick. And it's going to go right over what you just poured. Okay, one more time. And it doesn't matter if you have little blobbies because they're going to move around anyway. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the rest of my clear and I'm going to pour it directly in the middle until it hits about the edges so that it's not full, but it is, I don't know, maybe 2/3 to 3/4 of the way full. All right, and then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put something in the center, which I failed to grab earlier. I am going to put these really pretty turquoise glass, really pretty turquoise glass in here. And hopefully it won't get lost in the center. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to put silver glass. I think that'll work better. So this is, it looks kind of like crushed up mirror. It's got reflective and it's got clear and it's got a little bit of white and it's really pretty. And so I'm just going to put a little bit, like one little spoon in the middle. And it's okay if it moves around because what we're going to do is we're going to take the silicone tool and we're going to move it to where we want it to be and make sure it's all covered in resin. And there we go, like that. Okie dokie. So once we have that where we want it, I'm gonna wipe off my silicone tool and then I'm going to go and I'm gonna pull in a little bit just to kind of emphasize the petals on this. So I'm gonna pull in at the corners here and I'm not gonna wipe or anything in between, it doesn't really matter. Pull in at the corners and then I'm also gonna pull in at the tips. Like that. All right, and I'm going to do the same thing over here. Pull in at the corners. And then also at the tips. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to blow it up, go over it with a torch just to make sure that I don't have any bubbles at the top. Make sure this is under. There we go. And that's it. So we'll let that cure and I'll see you for the unmolding. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll turn out the way we want. Hello, welcome back. It's been about 7 hours since I poured these flowers. And I also, when I was done pouring the blue ones, I poured some pink ones as well, just using pink alcohol ink as my color and not mica powder or anything like that, or pigment paste, whatever. And then along with the regular white. So we're gonna unmold both of these together and see how it went and see how they come out. I love just this side alone. I love it because it has the white here. It has what looks like petals. You can kind of see what I put in the middle. But we're going to unmold them and see what the other side looks like because they're not ugly. It's just, you know, what your preference is. So let's see what this looks like. Beautiful. Beautiful. See, I think that came out beautiful, but it doesn't have the obvious lines here on this side. So that's why this is beautiful. I still personally prefer that side. All right, let's do another one. I guess it just depends on how subtle you want your petals to be. And I think this is kind of already pretty subtle, but all right, here we go. This one has a little more white, a couple white petals there. Just kind of came out a little differently. But again, on this side, it looks really good. All right, let's do the pink ones. This is the first ones I've made with alcohol ink and not pigment paste or mica. So let's see. Yeah, see on this side, to me, the pink is a little overpowering, but on this side, I think it looks really good. You can see the lines going around the outside. And last one. This one is a different mold. I was sent this mold accidentally, so I use it occasionally for this. And this one looks good on both sides, actually. You can kind of see the lines in here. I personally like to just leave those as is. It just adds dimension, but you can color them and paint them. But there we go. So they both look different on either side. It's just up to your preference, what you prefer. I hope you enjoy this and have fun making them.